Ladies and gentlemen, the Eisenhower Knights Marching Band. The Knights Marching Band is under the direction of Mr. Harris Lancel. Mrs. Celia Peterson is the assistant director, and Mrs. Sue Spencer, Miss Jody Bovard, and Miss Sandy Houlihan work with the color guard. Percussion help includes Mr. Don Fisher, Mr. Dave Knott, and Mr. Don Houlihan. Miss Amy Silsley assist with marching and guard. Color guard choreography is by Mr. Jerry Smith, and Mr. Joey Orphis is the drill designer. The 1995 drum majors are Christy Nechtel, Amy Erickson, and Melissa Madigan. Field captains are Susan Heiss and Elizabeth Michael. The color guard commander is Katie Trumbull. Sit back and enjoy this evening's performance. gentlemen, the 1995 Homecoming Queen, Miss Christy Knechtel.
Now we're going to give the band a rest, and I'm going to gab at you. Hopefully it won't be too long a rest for them. First of all, a few thank yous. In the program toward the back, there is, I think, about 2 pages of thank yous. And I'm certainly not going to take the time to read through that. I hope that you will, if you haven't already. There are so many people that have helped us throughout the year. I'll probably mention this several times tonight. But I haven't counted up the names there, but it's like a small army that follows us around and helps us out. And very heartfelt thanks to all of those people who have helped in many different capacities. It's hard to say thank you enough because they've done so much. And how about people give all the folks out there that have given you. We have a new trophy case display over here in the side hall, and that was done by Janine Stenstrom and Priscilla Rolls. I'd like to thank them for doing that. Also, we have some new people doing lighting this year. For, I think, 3 of them, it's their first time in the lighting cage back there, and that's a scary thought at times. I'd like to thank them, Cy Sanders, Eric Sanders, Bobby Sanders, and George Spencer. Thank you back there. We have several different groups, of course, that travel, and we all help each other out. We all perform for one another, and I'd like to thank those folks. First of all, our cheerleaders and their advisor, Gene Olson. Thank you for a great year. And of course, our championship football team and Coach Danielson. This is the team's 6th playoff year, and this year AML League champions. Fantastic. And we'd certainly like to wish them all the luck tomorrow in the snow. The next group, also I can't say enough about. It's our music boosters here at Eisenhower. These people try to think of everything they can to financially help us and support us. And they go through all kinds of trials and tribulations, dreaming up fundraisers, trying to convince people that fundraisers are important. And we keep mentioning it to the students, how important it is to take their fundraisers home to their parents so that they know what's going on. Lots of times you folks don't get the message because sometimes our students don't get the information home to you. So I just want you all to know that we have a very hardworking group of music boosters. They're trying to finance a very expensive program. The more students we have in the program, the more cost it is. For instance, tonight we're giving out 22 jackets, $110 a piece. That's a lot of money. And boosters are coming up with half that money along with our band fund. So again, a little plug for our music boosters. They're doing their darndest to try to make everybody happy up here on stage, and not only for the band, but for the choir and the orchestra and all the other music programs in the school. So music boosters, thank you very much. This year, well, actually back in January, we sort of got together with the staff and tried to decide what we're going to do for this year. Last year we had an extremely successful year, and we wanted to come up with something a little different. Use some different concepts that we've never used before. Things like announcers and skits and stuff like that. Well, we put it together into the theme show that we did this year, the baseball show. And darned if it didn't work. You never know what's going to happen. We started out with the students in June. We had a very successful 3-day mini camp, and we also had a very successful week of color guard clinic and camp and percussion clinic and camp. And that gave us a good foundation to build on our show. It got most of the information into the students so that they could be ready when we came to band camp. And if you can think back with the weather we're having now, back to August, when it was so hot out. And the students went through 2 weeks of probably the hottest weather we've had in a long time. There were lots of things we didn't do, like wearing overlays, which they were very thankful not to have to do, etc. And things turned out pretty good. They worked very hard at band camp. We got through the show, and we ended up having a very good start with the Warren County Marching Band exhibition down in Warren. So that set our season off. And as things went along, the weather hung in there. It was great weather. And 4 competitions later and about 13 more performances later, we end up undefeated. So can't ask for too much more. Weather. This group, we went through our first bad weather day in Youngsville. Okay, it poured and it poured. And I was a little frustrated with the group because they weren't functioning too well, especially in the stands with the weather. It was bothering them. Then I got to think, last year, we didn't have any bad weather. We didn't get rained on hardly at all. This year, up to that point, we had. So these guys were spoiled. A lot of you folks that are former students that went through many years here at Eisenhower marching when most of the season was mud and rain. I mean, those were seasoned veterans. They were used to that. This group wasn't. So after the Youngsville game, we had to point out a little bit how you function in the rain, what you do, etc. And it was a good thing we did, because the next 3 weeks, that's what we had. We ended up in Corey. We prepared all week. It was nice weather all week. We were ready to, we put a lot of changes in the show. We were ready to do a heck of a job for our last competition. We pulled into Corey. Sorry, it's going to be inside the gym. Boy, you should have saw a lot of long faces in the bus, because they had worked so hard. This was their last competition. They wanted to go undefeated. All of a sudden, things were thrown in a completely different ball game. Made everybody even. We go inside. We had to come up in an hour with how we're going to put our show inside. And once they got over their initial shock, they really went to work. We got together, we figured out how we're going to do things, practiced in their auxiliary gym before, for about 10 minutes, I think it was, before we went on to the floor. And it was probably musically one of the best shows they've done. It's unbelievable. And I keep thinking, every time I throw a problem at them, they do better than if I prepare them and have them all ready, because it puts them on edge. We came out there out of that particular competition with a score of 94.05. All the sections in the band are strong this year. We have a woodwind section that's probably the strongest we've had in several years. It's our largest woodwind section that we've had for a while. It's nice to say that we have 12 clarinets playing in the band this year, and it makes a big difference. Brass has done a great job all year. I told them just before that we won every caption award in all the competitions except for one. And that was the first competition at McDowell. We didn't get the wind trophy, the Woodwinds and Brass trophy. But we made up for that because we got it back against the group that took it away from us in the first competition at Corey. So the Winds and Brass did a fantastic job all year. Next section that I'd like to talk about is our percussion section. We have a very fortunate situation in that we had almost everybody back from last year, and everybody is still underclassmen yet for next year, or will be. Some of them will be seniors, we hope, next year. But anyway, this group of percussionists have spent many extra hours working over things, doing things, working together, coming up with new cadences, and although they try my patience many times, they really did a fantastic job. The last competition of the year, they placed above all the bands in that competition, the highest score for percussion in that competition. The last group that I'd like to just mention briefly is our color guard. This year, our color guard is probably the largest it's been in 10 years or so, and half of them are new, never touched the flagpole before. So we have 23 guard members, half of them never touched the flagpole, and they took all the caption awards that they had in every contest. That's a tribute to not only the new people for their improvement and achievement, but it's also a tribute to some of the leadership that the older people were able to work with the new people and work and make things get along. So, great job on all fronts, and that's why things were successful this year, because all 4 areas of the band were successful, not just one. So thank you very much for all of that, people. We're going to recognize a few people now. First of all, I'd like to recognize our officers. And these people were called on to do quite a lot of work this year. Our historian, Janine Stenstrom. Managers, Aaron Huber and Dan Durnell. Our librarians, Christy York and Sue Heiss. Our secretary, who has the humongous job of keeping track of all our points for the year, and she did a great job. She put it on computer. I got a printout and a whole bit, so I was really professional. Ann Trahosky. Our Vice President, Priscilla Rawls. And our President, Katie Trumbull. We also were in a situation where we didn't have a lot of managers, non-band managers, to help us out this year. And my assistant, Celia Peterson, got her brother-in-law to help us out, who happens to be a junior, and Billy Peterson ended up doing the work of about 3 people all year. Fantastic job, just a lot of time and effort. Billy, where are you? I'd like to recognize you. We also have our juniors who have been sort of understudies this year and have gone to drum major camp that have been conducting all year, probably more than a lot of field captains have been conducting, because they started right out with the first game. Sue Heiss and Vic Michael. And our color guard commander, Katie Trumbull. And our 3 drum majors, Amy Erickson, Christy Nechtel, and Melissa Madigan. I also have a lot of people that have been helping us this year. They're all in the program with the staff. I'm going to mention some of them and ask them to come up on the stage. First of all, Don Houlihan has been helping us out with the percussion all year. And Don is also doing the videotaping for us, so he's been doing a lot of different things for us, showing up, getting out of work early, etc., and we really appreciate his expertise. Don Houlihan. doesn't like to come on stage. The next person is Don's a former student back a few years. A lot of years. Our next assistant for this year is a former student a couple years ago, last 2 years. And Amy came up and said, I'm going to be around in the area. I can work juggle my work schedule around so I can help you. Would you like some help? Don't ask me that, of course. And she's probably put in more time than most of us. She does double duty. She helps us with the band. She helps us with the guard. She helps us with the equipment helpers. She's done a fantastic job. Amy Soslick. Our next person has been helping us out since the second week of band camp with Color Guard. And she's been a great help, putting lots of time in, trying to juggle her family schedule with her children and Dawn and everybody else to be here for our practices. I'd like her to come up on stage, Sandy Houlihan. Our next guard person, we gave her a year off last year, and then we had her come back. She helped us all summer, all through the clinics, and through band camp, and through the year. And I'd like to welcome back Sue Spencer. It's nice to have a lot of people standing up here. These people have done an awful lot to help your children out. And I can't thank them enough. We have one other person that's a former student a few years ago. And Celia graduated from Edinburgh, has been working up in New York State for a few years. She was a band director up there in a couple schools. And now she's back in the area, so we put her to work. She's been my right-hand gal, Celia Peterson. Also, we have to recognize a few people that are out there. We have a group of guys and gals that have been our pit bulls for all year, meaning they heft all our pit equipment on and off the field. Sometimes they don't have much time to do that, and it's amazing to watch. Sometimes it's comical to watch. But they do a fantastic job, and could I please have all the people that have been helping out with the pit equipment this year? Please stand up to it. We also have another group of adults that have been helping us out all year, setting up our various paraphernalia for the show. Our dugouts, our flats, getting flag equipment on and off, setting up our ump dump, and setting up the dummies on the field, the fake dummies on the field. We counted them up, all the people that have helped us throughout the season pretty regularly, and that comes up to a total of about 20. Would you folks that have helped us in that capacity please stand up, because we'd like to recognize you also. In addition to the 100 and some people that are performers with the band, and in addition to all the adults that you just saw, we have 20 other student helpers that have brought flags on, that were carriers of the flats coming on, etc. 20 others. Now, if you count all of these people up, you get an army coming on the field. In fact, some of our helpers total more than some of the bands that are in the competition. So, I mean, these are a lot of people that are doing all of this for very little. And again, we like to recognize them. With the 20 student helpers that have been with us all year, please stand up and be recognized. Our new members. This year, we have a lot of rookies. We have 32 new members in the band, 32. I'd like to recognize them. Would all the new members please stand up? All the new members, please stand up together. And to get to the point where they can be as successful as we were this year, you know that they've had to do an awful lot. I always tell everybody, the first year is always the hardest year. They don't know what's in store for them. They're thrown into marching and playing at the same time. They're listening to everybody else tell them what to do because they're the low man on the totem pole. And they've done a great job. So thank you, new members. This group and the group from last year, the new members last year, which are now their second year, they haven't been beaten yet. That's fantastic. 2 years here. We hope that we can keep that string going. All it takes is a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication, which they have. I'd like to, at this point in time, have a few students come up. They have a couple of awards that they want to present to a few people.
Very special person to the color guard, Jennifer Robinson. Can you come up here, please, Jen? This girl is just really incredible because she was thrown into this situation, and being only in 4th grade, I think she did a really great job.
Okay, continuing on. These two individuals, they were asked to do some special things. Jennifer was asked to do it, but just at the beginning of band camp. And wow, you couldn't ask for a better person to work with. She does everything you ask her to do. She has acting experience, so she's just ready to go. Same thing with Justin. He's been our announcer before, and they just know what to do. And they sort of put the personality into the program. So they're very valuable, and I'd also like to thank them. We have some letters and bars to give out. The first group that I'd like to go through is our second year people that will be receiving letters this year. We have 16 of them. If you could hold your applause until I finish all of that group. And if you guys would please stand. Amy Smith, Shelley Johnson, Mike Patko, Mike Stratton, Bobby Joe Anderson, Cheryl Cole, Melissa Landers, Amanda Woodburn, Anna Hansen, Margaret Wolslayer, Carla Nollinger, Stephanie Passenger, Liz Fox, Emily Spencer, Jody Fazenmeyer, and Michelle Chapman. Those are our second-year laureates. We have 19 third-year people. Cy Sanders, Christy Johnson, Dan Durnell, Chastity Arnold, Tanya Mady, Aaron Hubert, Olivia Rolls, Michelle Gadley, Melanie Tooley, Jackie Gray, Jeff Rizal, Mindy Ford, Chris Madigan, Ann Trahosky, Colleen Vinton, Jen Hall, Jenna Jewell, Jody Gardner, and Jill Jordan. We have 19 fourth-year people. Darren Eakey, Nick Salini, Nathan Rhodes, Rob Schaefer, Emily White, Jason Wade, Chris Batista, Michelle Cole, Christy York, Jared Bernard, Biff Michael, Susan Heiss, Christy Apgar, Melissa Madigan, Amy Erickson, Amber Vinton, Amy Cope, Liz Lyon, and Amanda North. And the old people of the band, the fifth-year people. We have 13 of those. Mandy Schuyler, Priscilla Rolls, Pam Bergstrom, David Mady, Janine Stenstrom, Jody Faulkner, Dory Highhouse, Sarah Michael, Christy Necto, Christy Waite, Jamie Woodburn, Nikki Pittner, and Katie Trumbull. And as I mentioned before, we have 22 people receiving jackets tonight. And these are the people that get the $110 jackets. Amy Smith, Christy Apgar, Susan Heiss, Elizabeth Michael, Jeff Rizal, Christy York, Jared Bernard, Jackie Gray, Michelle Cole, Jason Wade, Emily White, Nathan Rhodes, Rob Schaefer, Nick Salini, Darren Eakey, Amanda North, Jenna Jewell, Jill Jordan, Amy Cove, Jen Hall, Colleen Vinton, and Justin Kaus. We have several special awards to give out. First of all, this first group of awards that I'm going to mention was decided by student vote. They voted on Tuesday night for these different awards, and the first one we usually give out in the band room, but we also try to bring it out on stage because it's a very appropriate one to give on stage, and that's Best Spirit. This year, our Best Spirit Award goes to Rob Schaefer. Next one, he also got a few other awards before the concert. Our next award is Most Improved Marcher. This year our Most Improved Marcher is Alicia Smith. Our next award is Most Improved Player. This year, the Most Improved Player is Missy Landers. Next group is the most improved squad. This year, our most improved squad goes to the bass drums. Our most improved color guard squad goes to Liz Lyon's squad. Our outstanding new color guard member goes to Shelley Cows. Our outstanding new band member goes to Katie Bogniak. Our most improved section this year, the color guard. The next group of awards is determined by the number of points that the students earn throughout the year. The minimum amount of points this year was 387 points. The highest section this year, with an average of 514.7 points, was our field percussion. The highest color guard squad this year, with an average per member of 539.25, was Amber Vinton's squad. The two highest band squads were the cymbals with 645.5 points and the snare drums with 538 points. And the highest point holder, I like to go from 10 to 1. Pam Bergstrom with 566, Jill Jordan with 568, Amy Erickson with 575, Ann Frahowski with 578, Melissa Madigan with 585, Amber Vinton with 594, Jen Hall 597, Liz Fox 634, Nathan Rhodes 696, and number 1, Tanya Mady, 847 points. For all of you out there, the reason these people get so many points is that they turn their practice time in every week. So please encourage all of your children to get those practice points in, because that's what totals it up. We'd like to recognize our seniors. This is their last performance, last halftime review this year, other than the playoffs that we're going into. As I read their name, I'd like their parents to also stand. Katie Trumbull, daughter of Leslie and Doris Trumbull. Nikki Pittner, daughter of Erwin and Barb Pittner. Liz Lyon, daughter of Les and Joanne Lyon. Amber Vinton, daughter of Lee and Cindy Vinton. Jamie Woodburn, daughter of Earl and Evelyn Woodburn. Christy Waite, daughter of Dave and Nancy Waite. Ann Trahosky, daughter of Keith and Kathy Trahosky. Sarah Michael, daughter of Daryl and Kathy Michael. Dory Highhouse, daughter of Bruce and Penny Highhouse. Janine Stenstrom, daughter of Al and Diane Stenstrom. Jody Faulkner, son of Jean and Marlene Faulkner. Chris Batista, son of Bruce and Pat Hawthorne Niles. Dave Mady, son of Paul and Diane Mady. Tanya Mady, daughter of Howard and Diane Mady. Pam Bergstrom, daughter of Marvin and Bernadette Bergstrom. Priscilla Rolls, daughter of Richard and Jean Rolls. Mandy Schuyler, daughter of Erwin Schuyler and Carol and Craig Wilcox. Amy Smith, daughter of Tom and Carol Smith. Melissa Madigan, daughter of Barbara Robinson and Roger Madigan. Christy Nechtel, daughter of Bob and Kathy Nechtel. And Amy Erickson, daughter of Lee and Terry Erickson. In their 8th grade year, they presented The Force, which was our space show to you. 9th grade was our patriotic show, Freedom Forever. 10th grade was our Disney trip and the Hook show entitled Legend Continues. And last year was our Undefeated Wizard of Oz show. Quite a variety of things they've done over the years. And we're really going to miss these folks. They are great people. They perform well. I was almost going to say they behave well, almost all the time. It gets interesting sometimes. A few other things I'd like to, gotta get my paper straight here. Almost over. In your programs, there is a whole section of events for the entire year. If you haven't received this yet, please take that home and you'll know what's happening, when the concerts are, when the trips are, etc. Tomorrow, of course, we have our first district playoff, and report time is 2:45. The game starts at 7:30. Dress warm. I'm going to ask if the people that have showed slides when we're all finished, if they could show those slides again as everyone's going out, because some of you may not have been able to see them with the lighting. So we'll try to turn down the lights a little bit and we'll see if we can't show those slides again. Okay, I think we're ready to go on. Oh, we have some seniors to present awards too. These two senior awards were decided as a result of the students voting. We do this every year, and they are as follows. Our Senior Color Guard Award goes to Jamie Woodburn. Our senior band award goes to Ann Frahosky. And I'm done gabbing, and thank you for being patient with me.
We do have one more award. We'd like to appreciate a man who's given us a neat cadence to play this year. We'd like to bring up Mr. Don Houlihan again. Joel, we got him a chip shot.
to finish up, we'd like to present to you our show, A Night at the Ballpark.
by 3. Big Burstin' Bertha steps to the plate. Bertha looks for the sign.